It's about that time. And we're back for another big season of high school football. Friday nights are about to get bigger. WTOL 11 Sports. Meet the teams.
Welcome into our WTOL Meet the Team special. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to get you set for the high school football season. Our first Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Big Board Friday show of the year is coming up this Friday. Let's kick off the show by showing you a few of the new head coaches across Northwest Ohio. Here is Christy Kopanis.
We are about to embark on a new season of high school football, and with that comes new goals, new expectations, and new head coaches. Some faces familiar to the area, others brand new to Northwest Ohio. We're going to introduce you to those head coaches who are taking over their programs for the first time, starting right here at St. Francis. They made a splash with Bruce Gradkowski. Dan Chipka stepped down late, and the Knights hired the Toledo legend Bruce Gradkowski. Right now, he's the interim coach, and this is his first time as a head coach. And the other change in the track is Stephen Adams taking over at Findlay. He replaces Matt Pease, who returned to the NFL. He's the third coach in 3 years for the Trojans. And in the NLL, Perrysburg went just down the road to hire Dirk Connor, who had success as the head coach at Bowling Green. He takes over for longtime head coach Matt Kriegel. And to replace Connor, BG brought in Josh Wade, who has some experience coaching down in Texas. Texas football is a monster. He's going to bring a ton of that energy with him to the Bobcats program. And in the NBC, Dave Mifsud was the hire to replace Paul Patterson at Genoa. Mifsud had a great resume coming from coaching up in Michigan and down in Defiance. Kevin Klein moved on to Marion Pleasant. The Bulldogs quickly hired former Wauseon head coach Travis Cooper, who saw great success in the NWOAL. And another familiar face returns to Liberty Benton. Scott Garlock returns to take over LB. He coached here from 2002 to 2006. He takes over for Tim Nichols, who stepped down after 14 seasons. Good luck to all of those coaches as they start their new era with their new teams.
All right, Christy, thanks so much. Now let's meet the teams. We start with the Three Rivers Athletic Conference. Central Catholic, the defending champion. The Fighting Irish are a ridiculous 62-5 since the league started. And despite losing some big-time talent, they're going to be one of the top teams in the track once again. Let's take a look around the Three Rivers.
The track should be ultra competitive. Teams like Findlay and Fremont Ross have made strides, but Central Catholic has been the gold standard, and it won't be easy to take that crown away from them.
There's a lot of teams with a lot of returning talent that played good football last year, and they should be getting a lot of attention. You know, we've graduated a lot, and you know, this is just from what people are telling me, the kind of year that, you know, we just got to keep building and getting better, and hopefully be ready to take those teams on when we hit league play.
You already know the Central Catholic tradition. Everybody expects us to be the best, but when you lose a lot of people, you know, you got to reload and rebuild. We have a lot of young guys on our team, so we're just trying to get them ready.
They might be young and a little inexperienced, but there is talent and potential all over the field.
We're very fast. We got a lot of speed on the outside. Our running back, he's really fast, Josh Watson. We have a very aggressive defense. We're going to play in your face the whole game, and we just don't stop. We just keep coming.
You know, a couple of years ago, we replaced 9 starters on defense and ended up in the Final Four with, you know, a bunch of guys you never heard of. You hope that happens. That isn't always the case. You know, having the season moved up and opening up the way we do, that's not fun when you're green. But you're gonna find out real quick what you're made of, and that is fun. That's a nice challenge, a great opportunity, and the kids have been working hard.
That schedule Greg Dempsey referenced is a gauntlet. It starts with one of the favorites to win the Division I state title in St. Ed's, and they're going to have to get some of these young guys ready in a hurry. They have to replace 4 starters on the offensive line and have to replace a 2-year starter, Bishop Vargas, at quarterback. Tywan Clark appears to be the front runner, and the battle will be the signal caller, and if things go right, this team will compete for yet another track title.
Over at Findlay, the Trojans might be the team to dethrone Central Catholic. With hype surrounding this team, they won't be able to sneak up on anyone. The target on their back is growing. They have one of the top linemen in the country in Luke Montgomery, who holds a laundry list of offers from all the big-time schools across the country. But he's not the only dude they have. First-year head coach Stephen Adams has a lot of talent to work with, and they will need it in this very tough track.
Who wouldn't want to compete at the highest stage, the highest level, every single game? It does create, it's tough, there's no doubt about it, but how else would you want it? You know what I mean? you have some big names, some big teams in this conference, and you have an opportunity to go out and compete and show what we're about too. I'm pretty proud of the product that we have here.
It's not usual here actually, so it's kind of important to us. So we know we have to come out, show our excellence, how we play. We got to come out, prove ourselves, and show that we actually have that target and we deserve it.
It's been awesome. I mean, we faced a lot of adversity. I mean, 3 years, 3 head coaches. I mean, 3 new offenses, 3 new defenses. So I mean, we've pretty much been around the block. So I mean, we've been working really hard and just trying to figure out all the new schemes and stuff, and I think we've been going pretty good so far.
As we mentioned, St. Francis beginning the Bruce Gradkowski era, but they're also breaking in a new quarterback. Denham Truss steps into the starting role after sitting behind David Kaiser the past few seasons. He'll be working very closely with Gradkowski during the course of this year, and it's going to be a learning experience for everyone, but it's a challenge they are all ready for and excited for.
It's been fun. I mean, honestly, I was driving over to the start of training camp, and I was like, man, I'm kind of excited. I'm nervous. I had the jitters. I'm thinking I haven't been in training camp since I was with the Steelers in 2016. But man, it's been really enjoyable, and I'm very thankful and grateful for a wonderful staff of coaches that I have, for their support, guys that have been around.
As for St. John's, they lost some huge pieces from last year's team. They have to replace Brady Lichtenberg, who's playing at Cincinnati, Thomas Zyrus, who's playing over at UT, and all-league running back Carson Toth. But they do have some pieces in the cupboard, including Blake Lichtenberg, who will be taking over the starting job from his brother. The Titans aren't worried about the guys they lost. They are just focused on the future.
We want to regroup. We just have to do a better job of coaching. I think we've got a more balanced team. We're going to be more balanced than we have been in the past. We won't throw the ball as much. So I think we'll just have to regroup. And it's a great thing about high school football is you do have to change every year based on your talent.
Quite frankly, we're not really worried about all the guys that are gone. We're just going to go out there and compete. And I feel like that's a good problem we have. We have a lot of guys that are really talented. And we're just going to fly around, especially defensive side of the ball. We're going to fly around out there. 11 hats to the ball. We're going to get back to the aggressive defense that we're meant to be.
Next up, the Whitmer Panthers. Last season was not up to the standard that they have set for themselves, and they aren't shying away from that. Last year, they went just 1-5 in the shortened season, but in the playoff game, they nearly pulled off a huge upset against one of the best teams in Ohio. Kevin Hornbeek is back at quarterback, and the Panthers are hoping some of that late season success will carry over to this season.
The good thing was, even though we lost the playoff game, that team went to the Final Four, and it took them to the last 2 minutes to beat us. So some of the players kind of got to see that experience of what it should be like, and I think we kind of carried that into the season.
It was big. It was huge. We have a lot of guys back, and I think this year's group's a little more tight, and we're more of a family. And last year was tough, that game, because we were right there, but I think we'll be better.
All right, time for our first break here on Meet the Teams. Next up, we get you set with a couple of the favorites in the NLL. Anthony Wayne and Perrysburg both expecting big years, and the Jackets have a new coach at the helm. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back in. Anthony Wayne had a down year by their standards, but this year they are the preseason favorite to win the Northern Lakes League. Next up, we head out to White House to check in with the Generals, and then we're heading to Perrysburg to talk with the Yellow Jackets.
Last year certainly wasn't up to the standard that we've become accustomed to from Anthony Wayne football. A first-round playoff exit and a 4-loss season didn't sit well with this group.
We were very hungry in the weight room right off the bat, and I was kind of talking to a couple guys about why they were so hungry, why the energy level was so high, and they felt like last year they didn't leave the mark that they wanted to leave and wanted to come back this year and prove themselves as a program. So we'll see where that effort ends up, as the fall rolls through, but I'm just excited to see that effort pay off for them.
It was all motivation. I mean, no one likes to lose. No one likes to get beat, but just took it, feel the fire.
I for sure myself used it for motivation. I think our team did definitely in the weight room and in the off-season training. Yeah, it was weird to be losing. Usually you don't see us losing, and it sucks. I mean, I was in 2 of those losses starting, so it's just motivation, really.
There is every reason to believe this year will be different. They return a ton of experience on both sides of the football.
When you have 24 seniors, you've got 20-something returning letter winners, and you return at least 17 starters, there's a lot to be excited about because that experience is wisdom, and that wisdom starts applying on the field.
Maybe the most important piece that returns is quarterback Cam Swiger. He got some experience playing at the varsity level at the end of last year, including starting a playoff game. Couple that with a big offseason of improvements, and he looks primed to become one of the top signal callers in Northwest Ohio.
I think it helped a ton, honestly. Like, coming in this year, I already know what the varsity experience is like. I started a playoff game, so really this year I'm just focused on the team and not really worrying about myself and, like, preparing myself for a varsity game. I already know what it's like.
Cam is a quarterback that has a lot of talent. He's got the arm strength. All this summer we've been working on the IQ and getting him ready to learn how to read a defense and understand where to put the ball in our offense, and I'm just excited to watch him execute that.
The Generals open up with a really tough road game at Findlay in Week 1. It's a season of changes at Perrysburg. Longtime Yellow Jackets head coach Matt Kriegel has stepped down, and Dirk Connor has made the jump from Bowling Green High School just up the road to Perrysburg and brought along a brand new coaching staff with him.
It's been change for sure, but I think that we're all adapting to it. We love them, and I think that they're really supporting us and coaching us up really well. So we're looking forward to play for them this year, and we're really excited to see what they're going to do.
As far as getting to know the kids, that process was awesome. A lot of just really great kids here that we've had a fun time getting to know. Summer's been vitally important to us, as you said, new offense, new defense, new terminology, and not only them getting to know our stuff, but us getting to know them a little bit. So summer was kind of experimental for us. We threw everything we have at the wall to kind of figure out what's going to stick here, and it gave us a much clearer direction of what we need to be right now.
The number one question that people have asked is what offense Connor will bring to Perrysburg. At BG, Connor ran that run-heavy offense. At Perrysburg, things will look a little different.
There will be some similarities here for people that have watched Perrysburg football in the past where, some things will look the same. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to trying to find the proper matchups and putting your kids that you think can make the plays in the best position to do that. And, people put too much emphasis on that. So, we'll run the ball, pass the ball, and try to score touchdowns.
Running that offense will be quarterback TJ Tackett's. He got some time as a sophomore last year, including a start in the playoff game on their home field. Experience that was very valuable coming into this year.
It helped me a lot because now I'm more comfortable. I'll be ready for it. Unlike if I didn't play last year, I'd be nervous for the first game against Jerome, but I'll be just right.
Even though it's a new word or new concept, he's done it in the past, and so he's picked up on it pretty quick. And just to have somebody that he's just nice, steady, good leader. He's a good athlete, and he throws the ball really well. And he's the guy that runs that show, and that's what you want in the quarterback.
Perrysburg opens their season at home against Dublin Jerome. All right, up next, we head out to the NWOAL. Archbold and Wauseon have battled it out for the last few years, and this year should be no different. They are the preseason number 1 and 2 teams in the league. Let's start with the favorites out in Archbold. This Blue Streaks team is the one that everyone's going to be chasing in the NWOAL. Last season, they went through the regular season unbeaten to capture the league title, and they made it to the 3rd week of the playoffs. The Streaks did lose, though, some key parts on both sides of the ball, and much emphasis has been put on replacing those guys. One position that's not changing is quarterback. DJ Newman back under center. This team knows the league is a challenge, but Archbold feels it's a team that can once again get it done.
The biggest thing that I think the seniors from last year left these guys, you got to work hard. You got to earn it. It's not going to be easy. We had a lot of tough games last year, and we expect the same thing this year. It's just every day we got to get better and take each practice seriously and get improved throughout it.
I have faith in all these guys. I trust all these guys. We're a young team, but that doesn't stop us from competing. We keep working hard in the weight room, keep making these reps in practice 100%, and see where that takes us.
A team that will be pushing Archbold in the NWOAL is Wauseon. They were just 1/2 away from winning the league title last season before ultimately falling to the Streaks in the final game of the regular season. They lost do-it-all superstar Connor Penrod, but do return some talent in Jonas Tester, Bryson Stump, and others. Wauseon has been so close the past few years to a league championship, and they feel like this is the year they can get over the hump and capture that NWOAL title.
Out here every day, that's what we talk about. We 1 week at a time, but it's league championship, make the playoffs, and try and make some noise there. So, this group is working hard to try and accomplish that this year.
It's exciting to step into a new role. We had a good senior leader group last year, and we got to step up. Me and other seniors, we got to step up and refill those roles. It's a lot of fun. We got a lot of new faces coming in to this football team, and I'm just excited to play.
All right, we're going to take one more break here on our Meet the Team special. Plenty of teams, though, still to get to. Columbia and Clyde in the SBC both looking for another deep playoff run. Plus, we get you set with some of the top teams in the NBC. That and more when we come back. Welcome back in. We're heading to the Sandusky Bay Conference now. Tiffin Columbian is coming off their best year in school history. They made it to the state semifinals last year, and they've got a lot of talent back as they try to make another deep run.
Last season was a historic one for Columbian as they made it to the state Final Four for the first time in school history. Ending the year with a loss has this group hungry for another run.
We have very lofty goals. You know, we want to make the playoffs and, you know, win our conference and then contend for a state championship every year. And, you know, we can't do that, you know, without having really good days and grinding out good days first and foremost. But, you know, no one's expectations should be higher than our own. And every year, you know, we set really lofty goals.
We got a lot of guys back. A lot of them are real hungry from last year. Made it to the Final Four and then didn't result in how we wanted it to, but we're all more than ready. We had a great offseason, and we're doing great right now.
The Tornadoes know their success last year opened up a lot of eyes around the league, and with winning comes a target. They know that, and they're ready for it.
Success breeds success in a lot of ways, but when you end the season with a loss, you know, it's still a bitter taste, and you can look back on it and build on it, and it creates some motivation. But at the same point, you know, with success comes bullseyes. And, you know, in a lot of people's crosshairs, and we know that as well. So we're excited for the great opportunity.
Like, we go out and we win, and we kind of learn what winners do, I guess. So we kind of, like, learn from it, and then we also learn from, like, our losses that we have. So, like, in the state Final Four game, we learned a lot. Didn't end how we wanted to, but we learned a lot.
Yeah, anything lower than what we did last year is going to be disappointment, so we're aiming there and above. That's what we want.
Tiffin Columbian opens their season on the road at Fremont Ross. Another team hoping to make another deep playoff run is Clyde. They won a state championship in 2019, and they made it to the fourth week of the playoffs last year. The Flyers bring a ton of guys back from last season's team, including their senior quarterback, Jaden Cook. Clyde has really built a winning culture over the past few seasons, and they feel like they can make some noise once again this year.
We have the potential to be really good, especially with all the guys coming back, and we can be as good as we want to be as long as we come out here and work hard every day.
We have a lot of pieces back, but our schedule is very difficult, and you know, we're very similar to a lot of schools in our area where you really gotta avoid the big injury bug to try to get through a season. If we can stay fairly healthy and get our guys to the finish line, we have potential to be good.
In the City League, Jim Eberle takes over as the head coach over at Woodward, and they should compete with the Start Spartans for a league title. Last year, it was Start and Woodward that played in that thrilling City League championship game. Start was able to come away with that league title a year ago, and it was just incredible. Godfrey Lewis has done a great job in just 1 year in charge of the Spartans, and he's hoping that that excitement and success from last season will carry over to this year. But they know it is very hard to go back-to-back.
When you become a champion, you share championship DNA, you know, no matter whether it's the high school level, college, or the pros. When you share a championship, it stays with you forever. So the seniors that left, you know, set the tone for us. We got some guys coming back that learned from that, and we want to build on it. We want to not just win the city, we want to be able to go out and go win out of conference games and develop this program and develop this community.
The Otsego Knights are coming off a storybook season. They made it to the state Final Four, and they will be one of the favorites in the Northern Buckeye Conference this year. They have some holes to fill on the defensive side of the football, but on offense, they are loaded. They're led by senior quarterback Joseph Jirwa, who is the coach's son. They have a ton of talent at the skill positions, and they know they aren't sneaking up on anybody this season.
It's been clearly stated, our kids, that, you know, everybody's going to be gunning for you this year and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've gone it over and over and over that, you know, people are ready, are going to be ready for these guys.
It's kind of nice, you know, it's kind of, we're the talk of the town, but we need to back it up. We can't just go out here and think everyone's going to be scared of us, because everyone's going to want to beat us. We're the guys to beat, so we got to just practice hard every day and go hard every single game, no matter who it is.
Staying in the NBC, another team that's always toward the top of the league is Eastwood, and they have a long list of talent coming back. Justin Pickrell, Cade Boos, Bryce Kaprowski-Kistner, Andrew Arnstead. The list just goes on and on. One other huge addition is Rossford transfer Gavin DeWeese. The senior will bring a ton of experience to that locker room. This group is aiming high, and they feel like they have the pieces to position themselves for a league championship and more.
We try to keep the goals the same. You know, we want to make the playoffs and we want to win the league. Obviously, with 16 teams in the playoffs now, it'll be a little bit easier to get in, but you know, we want to get some of those top spots. So that means we got to come out fast in a tough non-league schedule.
It's definitely a lot to look forward to, but also a lot of pressure. But honestly, you can't really worry about that, and you just have to play level-headed, and you can't get too worked up in what you're supposed to be, and you just have to do what you can.
Another team hoping to compete for the top of the NBC is the Rossford Bulldogs. They finished middle of the pack last year, but they have a ton of talent back, including junior quarterback Alex Williams, who was a second-team All-Leaguer last year. Pair that with first-team running back Trent Bachmeyer, and that 1-2 punch on offense should be hard to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I think the great thing with them, especially Alex, it gives you that run-pass threat. Now, Trent will tell you that he's a pass threat too, but he's always lobbying for that stuff. But you know, the thing with him, with the dual threat for him, is he can catch the ball too, and so both those guys give the defense a little bit of complexity to that. Not just worrying about the pass for Alex, but you know, you have to worry about the run as well.
All right, the stage is set. We also have every preview story from even more teams across our area posted on our WTOL YouTube channel right now. Thank you so much for watching. We can't wait to see you back here next week for Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Big Board Friday.